Can you even see me? Is that better? Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about the gym. This video is all about how to look good, feel good, and lift even better. I have had a long love-hate journey relationship with the gym. I started out going to the gym at 16 years old and I started weightlifting solely for aesthetic purposes. I wanted to grow my peach and have a teeny tiny waist, and that just wasn't healthy. And it led me to falling out of love with the gym, not really going anymore for a few years, or going just for aesthetic and not really loving it. So then after that journey of not really enjoying the gym and just doing it for aesthetic, I finished uni, all of that, and I then started my CrossFit journey. I wanted to feel like I was part of a community within fitness and not just have fitness as the aesthetic part of my life. I wanted it as a hobby. So that's where I then ended up. I then ended up at CrossFit, and I love CrossFit. I still love CrossFit. I competed in quite a few CrossFit competitions. I did the Open, I worked with Tenzing. I went pretty much every day and also helped my little CrossFit community build up their community. So it was a really give and take situation, and I loved it so much. CrossFit also taught me how far I can push my body and just how amazing my body is, because CrossFit is bloody hard. Anyone that's done CrossFit, anyone that has experienced CrossFit knows that CrossFit is intense. It just really made me have a love for my body that I didn't have when I was solely weightlifting for aesthetic, which was the sole purpose of starting CrossFit. So it really worked. At this time I also started High Rocks and running just for mental health. Running I really found as a release for my thoughts and stuff, because when I run I literally can't think of anything else. All I can think about is putting one step in front of the other, and that was a mental sort of release for me. My journey then continued on and I quit CrossFit, surprisingly, but I had a few injuries through CrossFit. I hurt my shoulder, I had a little hip injury because of just how intense and fast-paced it was and how quickly I got into it without really learning the proper skills. It was actually quite scary when I started competing. So I then started Olympic weightlifting, which is where I am now. I wanted to start Olympic weightlifting because I wanted to learn the basics. Originally for CrossFit, I wanted to start learning the really technical side of things. And since starting my Olympic weightlifting journey, I have realized just how mental as well as physical the sport is. And you really have to overcome your own brain to be able to do it. Because if I miss a lift, I'm oh my God, I'm never gonna be able to hit that lift again. And it's really hard to overcome that mental side of it. And that's something I'm now learning, which is really a new journey, and I'm loving it. But it really is a work in progress. I'm loving every step of it. But this video is all about my whole gym journey and the tips and the things I've picked up along the way to help me stay motivated, helped me feel good, kept my motivation up, grow my muscles, and also just keeping the fitness space a really enjoyable place for me and not something that is just a toxic cycle. So, number one of the tips I have gathered is nutrition. I cannot express enough how important proper nutrition is. And when I say nutrition, I don't mean eating just chicken and rice. I mean eating enough. This means fueling both your mind and your body, which is something that I have learned along the way. I started out at the gym. I was literally eating chicken and spinach. This was at school, and I was literally eating chicken and spinach and wondering why I couldn't lift, wondering why I couldn't lift heavier than a certain weight, wondering why I felt so lightheaded in the gym and faint and not myself, and why I couldn't really build proper muscle or lift properly. So now I eat enough and I eat to fuel myself. And also to be able to lift heavy. I eat I try to eat 3 full meals a day with snacks in between. And when I say full meals, I mean carbs, fats, protein, all of the above, snacks, supplements as well. I also mean eating enough for your mind as well, because eating and fueling yourself is much about enjoyment as it is about fuel. So I mean pastries, coffees out, things that really benefit your mind as well as your body, because it's okay for your sweet tooth to take over sometimes and just have that little enjoyment around food as well, because it makes the journey so much more easy when you enjoy your food and you realize that it's fueling your body and your mind. Tip number 2 is looking good for the gym, for you and for nobody else, just for you. For me, I like to do my skincare before the gym, wash my face, smell good, do my hair and pick a bright outfit. Because if you look good, you feel good, and if you feel good, you're gonna lift even better. Your confidence in yourself comes from how you feel about yourself. I personally also like to wear a baggy fit or jumper over my bum as I walk to the gym and when I get to the gym, to stop the creeps from creeping and just to feel a bit more comfortable, because feeling comfortable in the gym is so important to make it your own space and make it happy and safe for you. Whether you want to feel comfortable is totally up to you, whether you want to wear a big t-shirt or shorts or leggings, literally anything, whatever you feel comfortable in is all that matters. Number 3 leads on from looking good. It is positive self-talk, because how you feel about yourself is not solely down to how you look. It is also about how you talk about yourself and talk to yourself. For me, I like affirmations before a big lift or in the gym. A lot of time when I'm filming, you can see myself speaking to myself, or I speak to myself in my head. And before a big lift, I will often say to myself in my head or out loud, I will say, you're strong, you are capable, and you can do this lift. And majority of the time it actually really works. It gets me into that mindset of, you can actually do this. Like, this is why you're here. This is why you show up for yourself. You can actually do what you've come to do. This is what you've been training for. This is what you come to the gym for. So don't negative talk yourself out of it now, because you can do it. You're capable. You've done it before. And especially with Olympic weightlifting, I have really come to notice that the more I say I can do it, I can do it. And if I say I can't do it, I get a mental block about it and I actually can't do it. So positive self-talk is a really key one to being able to actually do the lifts and therefore staying consistent, because you can actually do your lifts. In the gym, there are also loads of mirrors, and I have been prone to picking myself apart in the gym mirrors, looking at myself and being like, your arms could be smaller, your legs could be smaller, X, Y, and Z could be smaller. And when I catch myself doing that, I then kind of have to make myself look in the mirror and be like, or not look in the mirror, go and do a lift and be like, look how bloody strong you actually are. Your body is here for strength, it's here and it's amazing, and it can lift a whole lot of bloody weight, and it doesn't matter how it looks, because other people can't see your insecurities. If you look at someone else, you can't see their insecurities. So why are you looking in the mirror and picking yourself apart? So positive talk in that sense, and not picking yourself apart in the gym, is really important. But I do know how hard it is, and it is a habit. It's just a habit, and you've got to break the habit, because since I've stopped doing that, or when I catch myself doing that and change my thought process, that has really, really helped. Because in that sense, if you are just picking yourself apart and negatively speaking about yourself, the gym is a really negative space and it's not somewhere you want to be. So making it that positive space and making it somewhere you want to be is how you stay consistent. Number 4 is variety. Now, I always thought that you kind of had to stay in your lane and pick one thing and just do that and be good at that. But variety is a a key to how I stay consistent and how I look good, feel good, and ultimately lift a lot, because I have variety. Just like in your diet, variety is key. So don't be afraid to mix it up and train however you want to train with what is best for your goals. So whether that's running, walking, lifting, CrossFit, Pilates, whatever you fancy, mix it up. Do a bit of Pilates one day, go and do weightlifting the next. Go and do a booty day, or go to CrossFit. It really just keeps up the momentum and helps you enjoy fitness again, which is what I was struggling with when I quit weightlifting originally and moved to CrossFit. I just needed variety in my fitness. I tried Pilates the other day for the first time, and my goodness, it was so hard, but it made me realize how little I was using my pelvic floor and how important the strength of my pelvic floor is in Olympic weightlifting. And I wouldn't have known that, and that wouldn't have clicked for me if I hadn't have gone to Pilates and mixed it up. So you can use tips from other sports or other fitness things in the specific goals you're trying to get to. Like me using my pelvic floor more in Olympic weightlifting because I went to Pilates. So variety is another one to keep your workout spicy, keep your fitness journey interesting, and so you don't get bored, your motivation continues. Number 5 is still a work in progress for me, but it is celebrating the wins no matter how small. And this is something I'm still not very good at, but I am working on it. I need to celebrate my wins more. I am very quick to critiquing myself and thinking, this is what you're doing wrong, you need to be better at this. Again, negative self-talk. I have to film my sessions for my coach, and I just like filming my sessions in general because it allows me to see just how far I've come and how impressed I actually am at myself. And you're so allowed to say that you celebrate yourself, because why else would you go to the gym then if you aren't doing it for a purpose to be able to celebrate it? Knowing you are getting better is the greatest motivation. Knowing you are better than yourself yesterday is such good motivation. If you are just 1% better each day, you are doing so well, because by the end of the week, you're 7% better. And by the end of the year, you're 365% better, which is honestly incredible. And celebrating that 1% every day, you getting up, you going to the gym, you getting up, going for a walk, going for a run, doing whatever it is that you do, and celebrating it, celebrating that lift that you got, that you'd been trying to get all week, celebrating that PB that you got, celebrating your wins is what keeps you going, keeps the motivation, makes you feel so good because you're actually getting better at what you're doing. And it also keeps you accountable, because when you celebrate your wins, you are actually improving, therefore getting better. So it keeps you accountable, because you're like, okay, well, I've done this, now I can move on to my next goal. Now I've done this, tick, celebrated, I can move on to my next thing. And it also gives you that little positive reinforcement that we all need as humans. So as I reflect on my fitness journey from weightlifting to CrossFit to Olympic weightlifting, it's been a real roller coaster of highs and lows, and pushing myself a lot and discovering what I love about myself and also about other people. Along the way, these invaluable lessons that I've learned have transformed my approach to fitness and also my approach to life. So that is why I wanted to share these 5 little tips that I've picked up along the way. The constant thing that I need to remember is that I am showing up for me, and that is essentially what is going to keep me going, because if I can't show up for me, how can I expect anyone else to show up for me? It's really easy to get caught up in the pursuit of perfection, especially now we see so many people on social media and a lot of it is filtered, perfected, beautiful works of art, and we are comparing ourselves to that. We get caught up in solely focusing on the end goal. Truly, the progress in acknowledging your journey brings so much growth in itself, because it's not really about reaching the end goal, it is the journey, and I'm enjoying it so much. I hope you are enjoying my journey too, but also taking a little bit of advice that I didn't have from me. I just want you all to continue to push your boundaries as I'm going to continue to push my own boundaries. Then we can all become the best version of ourselves and just feel happy and content and beautiful. I am so happy to be sharing this video, and thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.